right, what is good? Welcome back to yet another video. Today, we're talking about Modern Warfare 2 2022. This past week, we got our first taste of this long-awaited game and what the future holds for Call of Duty for the next 2 years. We received this in the form of both COD Next, a huge LAN event in which some of the biggest Call of Duty content creators got to fly out to play and live stream the game before anyone else.
I think I smell a pussy around here.
And my main focus for this video, the first public beta. For the past few days, I've been playing this game almost exclusively and taking down notes on my thoughts and feelings while doing so. And now, I'm here attempting to make at least a few of those thoughts and feelings into a somewhat cohesive experience for you. You're welcome, so let's get into it. Immediately when you start this game, as usual, you're greeted with the message of the day. However, this game has a brand new menu system that it really wants you to use. So unlike the old games, if you try and just close the message of the day, you get set back to the starting screen. To actually get to the screen where you can pick your mode and use the gunsmith and all that, you have to push start and then home, which whatever, it's one extra button. And I know some people argue and say,
you don't even have to use that because there are modes right here.
and yeah, you're right, there are, but it isn't all of them. And like I said, you can't get to the gunsmith or change your operator or anything like that at all from here. So it's not a huge deal, but in my opinion, it's a pretty strange design choice. However, once you're past that, just based on this screen alone, I'm sure you can tell these graphics are good. As far as I know, this game runs on the same engine as Modern Warfare 2019, but that game always had something weird going on console. It was always sort of blurry compared to PC. Vanguard and Cold War also kind of had this issue, but I believe it was especially noticeable on Modern Warfare. But this game is very crispy on current gen consoles. Moving on, the gunsmith was a big thing that they talked about leading up to this, and honestly, I'm glad that they hyped it up. Visually, I think this is probably the cleanest gunsmith of any of the modern CODs. I really just enjoyed looking at it, which is not something I ever noticed myself doing on the other games. This game returns to Modern Warfare's pick 5 for attachments, which I never really had a problem with. I know some people like more attachments. I personally prefer this over pick 10. I always thought pick 10 was just a little overkill. The perk system has been completely revamped. Now, instead of just having all 4 perks from the start, you get 2 to start with, then throughout the game you'll earn the other 2. I see a lot of people upset about this. I personally don't mind it. I think it makes the game start out on a more even playing field, and then towards the end of the game everyone can use their ghost or survivor or whatever they want to use. Although I did see someone make a good point on Twitter. I can't remember who it was, so I'm sorry, but they brought up the fact that if you join a game late, you might not have enough time left in the match to get your second 2, so hopefully they'll figure out a way to make up for that lost time or something. But like I said, I don't mind this system. Lastly, we have a few new field upgrades, most of which are pretty cool, but the only one that I want to specifically mention is the inflatable decoy, which is very convincing. It's so convincing, in fact, the first time I ever used one, it got shot by my teammate the second I blew it up. Alright, now this is the good stuff. This is what you're actually here for. What is it like actually playing the game? The first thing I want to mention is the HUD. During COD Next, I saw a lot of people saying that it's way too similar to 2019's HUD, and I do not agree with that. It has some similar, possibly even shared elements, but overall I think it's different enough to still be refreshing and stand out on its own. Now the guns. To me, the guns in this game feel so good. One of my main complaints with the weapons in Cold War and Vanguard is that compared to 2019, they felt like pea shooters. But this game feels like it took everything I loved about the weapons in Modern Warfare and amplified them to be even beefier. Although they did make 2 major changes to gunplay, one that I love and one that I hate. I love the ability to take out your sidearm without having to switch weapons. I haven't made much use of this feature. In fact, I think I've only gotten it to work once, but I love the idea, and I think that once I figure it out, in most situations, it could be a game changer. However, I hate the fact that they removed reload canceling. If you don't know, before, if you were reloading a gun that still had ammo left, you could quickly double tap the button to switch weapons, and it would cancel the reload animation. And most of the time, using those last few bullets instead of switching weapons was the difference between life and death. Now, if you start a reload animation, that gun gets locked into it. So even if you fully switch your gun and switch back, if you started the reload animation on the first gun, you have to finish it, which I think is terrible. I never thought reload canceling was an issue at all, let alone being a big enough one to be completely removed. But now without it, I'm losing a lot of fights that I could have won had I just been able to cancel the animation. Now let's talk about the movement. In this game, you have 2 main movements besides just sprinting or walking. You can slide and you can dolphin dive. Sliding has been in all 3 of the recent COD games, but in this game, it's caused a lot of controversy due to it being changed in 2 major ways. You can no longer shoot while you're sliding, and you can no longer slide cancel, meaning that if you choose to slide, you're locked into into it with no way of defending yourself or getting out of it until the animation ends. At the current moment, I feel like sliding is pretty much useless. I'm not like a rider for slide canceling or anything, but while you're sliding, you're totally defenseless and it's insanely slow. To me, it seems that diving is significantly more useful and viable in most plays. Like, sure, you still can't shoot while you're diving and you land prone instead of crouching, but with diving, it seems to me like you get to where you're going faster than sliding. And I haven't conducted any tests on this, but if you're playing the beta, try them both and tell me which one feels better. Also related to the movement, footsteps in this game are very loud. If you're wearing headphones, honestly, maybe even if you're not, it's so incredibly easy to hear where someone is in relation to you at any time. Like if I'm playing Search, I feel like I have no choice but to crouch if I'm near a site, because even if I so much as walk, everyone on the map will know where I am. Obviously, that's an exaggeration, but they're very loud. And a few quick things to wrap this section up. Spectating is very different than it has been before. Instead of just watching someone play from their perspective, it's now from the perspective of like a GoPro-esque camera on the side of their helmet, which I think is insanely cool. And I can't believe that no COD has ever done that before, or even anything like it. Weapon leveling is insanely fast, and I truly hope that it stays that way. If the weapon leveling is this fast in the full release, it will be such a time saver on camo challenges. And last, but certainly not least, your character's arm has this funny little visual bug that makes it look like every single map has tornado level winds all the time. So all in all, I am really enjoying this game. I definitely have more to say about it, but that will come as I make more videos. These were just the things that I noticed in the first few days. I still have so many things to try out, things to explore, but so far this game looks very promising. I'm going to continue making videos on this beta, probably in the form of my regular commentaries. I know this video is probably a little bit different than what I usually do, but I thought it'd be fun to do this like this, just try something new. But that's all I have to say for now, so later.